You will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
So everybody's getting up on their soapboxes, trying to take up the moral high ground about this Trump-Zelensky meeting yesterday. And I just fear that people are missing out on a great piece of television. They're not able to enjoy it like I was. You've got Zelensky there like this little Ukrainian shaman. You will feel influence. And then you've got Donald Trump, the New York real estate billionaire. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good. We're going to feel very strong.
Well, feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
So, as you can see, things didn't go great between Trump and Zelensky at the Oval Office yesterday, and Trump, in fact, ended up kicking him out.
The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye-rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch.
Well, that's good to hear that the feast they'd prepared for Zelensky didn't go to waste. They gave the scraps to the press staffers, like the dogs they are. I wonder what they prepared for Zelensky, though. What do they eat in the Ukraine? Boiled sturgeon, I imagine, with cucumbers, potatoes. Those press staffers are used to getting what they can, though. Okay, let's see what we got here. Boiled sturgeon. Oh boy, we hit the jackpot. Anyway, let's get into the video. Let's see what actually went down between Trump and Zelensky yesterday. How did they end up arguing about World War III? When initially I thought they were going to tell us how there's a deal in place, America gets all the minerals and stuff from the Ukraine, and there will be peace on Earth. You know, I thought they were going to release some doves, but no, it wasn't to be. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's find out who's right and who's wrong, because that's what we always do on the Daniel Boland show, right? We get to the bottom of everything, world, the world issues. No, I'm only kidding. If you're new to the show, we don't care what's right and what's wrong here. We never get to the bottom of nothing on the Daniel Boland show.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Yes, I had to.
Ready, close?
How are you?
Ready, shut?
He's all dressed up today.
Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best of starts. You know, Trump ragging on his clothes. He's all dressed up when he's wearing the same thing he's been wearing for 3 years. All right, I've got to say though, and you can tell me what you think in the comments. What are we thinking about this Zelensky military chic? Okay, I think stylistically he's backed himself into a corner, a la Senator John Fetterman, who has to wear hoodies and shorts everywhere now, because everyone will say, well, what happened to the hoodies and shorts? And then a part of their persona will die, right? You know, as an artist, you know, you have to be, and Zelensky is an artist, you have to be willing to chop and change a little bit, you know. Sometimes it's time to conform, other times it's time to be different, get a new haircut. Look, what I'm saying is, ain't there any money in the USAID for a stylist for Zelensky, you know? I think he could have worn a nice suit, okay? And I don't think I'm alone in thinking that, but I'm not sure. Because at the same time, I kind of get it. You know, he's like, I'm wearing this until the war's over. It's, I don't know. I'm just kind of bored is what I'm saying with Zelensky's look, okay? I'm just kind of like, oh, this guy again, Christ, you know? And I want Ziggy Stardust, Zelensky Stardust. He should have turned up at the White House like that. That would have been a statement if ever I'd seen one.
It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal. But we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen.
So, as you can see there, things started out cordially enough. It seemed like there was a deal in place. You give us all of your resources, Ukraine, to pay back for the billions and billions of dollars we've given you, and I guess there's some kind of security thing for them, right? We're going to end the war, there'll be a ceasefire, we'll talk to the Russians, whatever. Simple.
This was supposed to be over very quickly. And here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters. And you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So please, I'd like to say something.
No, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for invitation. And really, I hope that this first document, will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course the infrastructure or security guarantees, because for today I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course I want to discuss with you what United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin, and you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But
well, okay. Look, I'm not going to go full Peter Hitchens on your ass and go over the extensive knowledge I have of the history between Russia and Ukraine. Yanukovych and all that. You can do your own research. But from the little I know, it's a little 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, if you catch my drift. And I think if Zelensky is saying there will be no compromise, right? He's kind of saying, that is my stance in front of the whole world, and you ain't going to change it. And I'm just here basically to see what the US is going to do. How much are you going to commit to us, right? Now, where I come from, that don't sound like no peace deal, all right? That's fighting talk.
Putin will never stop. And will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. It's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know. But with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation such language and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us.
They have to pay. This question
this is the rule. This is rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay. This is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough.
Oh, that was the last bit there of like a 6-7 minute rant by Zelensky about how much we need to stop Putin and Russia and all of that stuff, which is all very well. But you heard what he just said there. Yeah, sure, we have 300 billion that we could use in frozen Russian assets, but that's not enough. Well, what is enough? That's what I think. How many hundreds of billions is it going to take to pretend we're not in a war with Russia? How many more years? How many more people are going to have to die? That would be my question to him. And I've got to say, as much as you might dislike Trump, as much as you might support Ukraine and think this is all one way, this war is entirely on Russia and that Ukraine are in no way to blame, the reasonable position to take up here seems to be what Trump is doing. Sorry, you know, he says he wants to be a peacemaker. He wants to be in the middle between them and get a deal done to get this to stop, right?
I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and Ukraine, or on the Ukraine side.
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. If I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world.
Look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy.
He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Playing cards.
Right now, you're playing cards. You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
a
entire
lot of
meeting?
Times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today,
meeting, have you said thank
even
you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
We
gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Look, say what you will. We may be hurtling towards World War III at frightening speed, but I prefer this kind of international diplomacy. A la Trump, a la Zelensky. The way they're just airing their dirty laundry in front of everyone, having it out, ball busting, populism. That's what I want. I don't want to go back to the the 90s when I grew up, the fucking John Major and George W. or whatever. Bullshit, right? I don't need what we've had for the last 3 years. People like Keir Starmer. We stood with Ukraine, right? And then you're not actually standing with them. You're not going and bombing anything, are you? You're just kind of slipping money to them on the sly. And then you sort of test the waters. I say, well, we might have to conscript people. Fuck you. I'm not going to die, all right? I ain't going to die for nobody. I'll be like Muhammad Ali. I'll stay nice and cozy in my prison cell. Look. This needs to end because it's gone on for too long. And the way Starmer and Macron and all those nasty bureaucrat assholes are doing it, spineless, evil, masquerading fannies, pretending they're not in a war, but they are. They're defending, maybe the Poles. Fuck off, right? No, it's time for a new international diplomacy. I very much applaud this back and forth between Zelensky and Trump. You know, to be fair to Zelensky, at least he's there, doing his thing, shaking his little military chic ass. You know? Fair play. I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comments. But I think the only way for this to come to an end is if everyone admits we have to kind of, look, you're going to have to give up something, you're going to have to give up something, we need to get a deal done now. Because we need the next story. This has gone on for too long. That's what I think. That's my 2 cents. If you've enjoyed today's video, let the algorithm know what a fantastic time you've had. And give the video a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you want to help out further with the channel, join my Patreon. The link's under this video. And March is the Patreon month. We're going to make lots of Patreon videos. Promise. All right? I absolutely promise. We've had a bad start to 2025, but they're coming. All right? Thanks to everyone who's supporting me on there already. I'll see you in the next one.
We're not from Africa, we are natives. This our land, we don't know about no slave ships. We're not from Africa, we indigenous. I need you to